So this is kind of on topic of things for this year, but it's also not 100% on topic, which is kind of my bread and butter on our podcast. This is kind of tangentially related in my head, but not at all. I just wanted to do a victory lap that I've only seen 5 mentions of Shield Hero Season 2 in 5 months.
Yeah,
it fell off hard. No one gave a shit.
Yeah, I would like to dance on its grave. That's all I want to say. I have hate in my heart for Shield Hero.
Yeah.
Not for the usual reasons, but for the disappointment reasons. But I'm very glad to not see anyone talk about it. So
I wish that would happen with Rent a Girlfriend this season.
Nah, because that keeps being Kino though.
No,
define.
It's still
Kino.
too controversial for people to not care about yet.
Well, especially did you guys all see the Twitter account from the mangaka?
Well, the guy who draws Chizuru in real life.
I'm not, I think a lot of the touch grass things get kind of rude, and most of the time it's just exaggerated. But I am genuinely concerned for that man's mental state. I think he needs to not write manga for a bit. I think he needs to go hang with his family. Please do not go online. Do not go and collect $200.
Shut
do
up,
not do
wife. Chizuru is speaking to me.
That's the real. I heard it in a dream.
People just want to see the boner pool scene.
We just want to. Yeah,
I do. That's all I want to see.
And then
chapters
once that gets animated, nobody will care anymore.
That is season 7, my dude.
Oh, is it that
so
much?
Far away.
Rent a Girlfriend has so many chapters.
I need that to be with Nirvana OST in the background since it matches the Nirvana cover for their album.
It's gonna be a movie. That's gonna be the movie adaptation. It's gonna be that whole the water park arc. It's gonna be great.
My God, I need that. That's the only thing I need from That's the only thing I need from Rent a Girlfriend, and then we're good.
I'm good on it for life. All right, let's talk about freaking 2022 animes. All right, I'll start this thing finally. Everyone's recording, right? Everyone's been recording, I assume.
Yeah.
Yep, I've been recording for 11 minutes now.
That's fine.
Me too.
Include it all.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, everybody. Welcome to the Tokyo Podfathers podcast, the best damn anime podcast on the internet, according to us, I think. And
source, we made it the fuck up.
Yeah,
it came to me in a dream.
Source, my ass. I am Mozilla Fennekin, the most sleep deprived person on the planet. So I hope you'll bear with me as I and through a lot of different sentences that I might say throughout this podcast. And along with me, to accompany me in all the ums and ahs, is Shaw King 807.
I got some ums and ahs over here too. Yay. Thank you for having me.
To hear it, yeah. Well, thanks for being on the podcast that you are a member of.
Yay. Thank you.
Fantastic. And also here, we've got Sinris.
Hi, everybody. I have nothing particularly interesting to say today. I've been moving for a week and a half straight now, so I'm also exhausted.
Constantly
Nomad
on
arc.
the move. Yeah. And also, somewhere across the world from all of us is Coronel Panic.
Catchphrase. Insert catchphrase.
Insert witty podcast opener. You're such a funny guy, Panic.
Thanks.
And today's episode is kind of a loose topic, but I like to think of it as a spiritual successor to something that we used to do a lot of. Every season, we do our first impressions around the end of the first month of the season when everything has a couple episodes out. And then at the end of the season, when pretty much all those shows are completed, we used to do a full seasonal recap where we would talk about all the stuff that we watched, all the stuff that came out that season. And for a while it was good and fun, but we kind of just stopped doing that because
But it was a pain in the ass.
It just became an increasing pain because it's we're cramming long reviews of every show into a 2-hour space, and it was just it also had to be done in a timely manner, so it became stressful and stuff like that. So we've been kind of wondering how to go about it still. Like, how can we still talk about these seasonal anime and, give them the spotlight that they probably deserve, things like that. So today I want to kind of meet somewhere in the middle between, doing all those seasonal recaps and other things. And by, going over the half year that we've had so far. Because, we're halfway through the entire year. We've had 2 out of the 4 seasons completed. So I want to talk about the best anime of 2022 so far, of course. All the ones that we've watched so far. Maybe not all of them, but, the best ones. The good ones so far. And, we'll probably revisit this at the end of the year as well as some sort of like a, yearly recap or awards thing. Because, that's also something that we've talked about doing in the past. So, yeah. But for now, there's lots of really interesting anime that have come out so far. Some of them have been pretty well received. Some of them have really shaken up the community. And we might ourselves have some opinions on them. So, yeah. So, what's the best anime of 2022, guys? What is it?
Are we going to all have the same opinion?
Possibly. Maybe we should start with the community's collective opinion, because currently there's a new #1 anime on my anime list that just came out, and it's called Kaguya-sama.
I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
I
honestly
also approve.
I think this is the first time since I've been watching anime that a new show has instantly jumped up to the very top, and I've been like, yeah, this is fine.
Apparently, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood fans would agree, because it's been I think 2 weeks, give or take, and it has not been dethroned yet. But
yeah, usually every time something jumps up to #1 on my anime list, usually it starts with Gintama, and then all those Full Metal Alchemist. I don't even know if it's Full Metal Alchemist fans.
I don't think it's all of them.
It's just people just have. It's like this. It's just been this collective opinion. It's just been an objective thing that Full Metal Alchemist is the #1 anime. It's like people just hold on to that it needs to be this constant thing. If it doesn't stay at #1, the universe is going to end or something like that. So yeah, something dethrones FMAB somehow. Everyone just attacks it. They just converge on this anime like a swarm of moths.
Yeah, because I think I said Full Metal Alchemist fans before, mostly joking, but I think it's I made this meme back when the Kaguya thing happened, where it's that meme picture of the kid sleeping, and then there's the dad or whatever protecting them from guns and knives and shit.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, I was saying new top 1 anime getting review bombed, and it's Full Metal Alchemist fans being the scapegoat, and it's Gintama, Attack on Titan, Hunter x Hunter, every other fan's doing the same things as Full Metal Alchemist fans, but everyone blames Full Metal Alchemist because it's the one that gets to the top. But I think you're completely right, Maz, that sometimes people are just okay, this new top 1 show, I can't accept it being top 1, so I'm gonna review bomb it. But Full Metal Alchemist, that one can stay. That's fine.
Full Metal Alchemist is the bedrock upon which all of Mal is built. If you shift it, it's all gonna crumple to dust. What does it even mean?
Yeah. What are we without Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood at #1? What does this
universal,
mean for our community?
Milestone of anime that upon which all others must be compared.
So I'm gonna go completely off on a tangent already here and not talk about Kaguya at all. But
go off.
I was noting, because people were having this kind of discourse in our Discord when Kaguya shot up to #1. And I was thinking, for the show that's been #1 for a million years, basically, I almost never actually see people talk about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Is that just me?
I think it's fair. I think it's not just you, but I also think it's because of a couple factors. #1 being it's over 10 years old now. The second being it's complete. So I feel there's not a lot to discuss unless you're rewatching it or someone else is watching it.
And most people have already seen it. It's not often you see someone, I'm watching this for the first time.
Yeah,
I thought
it's not like Attack on Titan where there's new seasons coming out, or like Hunter x Hunter where people are speculating or something, or like One Piece where it's like, always driving conversation. So I think
I
it's
guess
like
that makes sense.
Yeah, but I do think it's fair that
okay, well, catch me when
I
finally watch it for the first time eventually.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
And I'll be the person who talks about it.
You'll be the change you wish to see in the world.
And then everybody else is going to be like, oh, I watched it 15 years ago. I don't remember shit. I just know I liked it. Anyway.
They don't even.
I think that's an accurate
these people
assessment.
on my anime list, they don't even know what they're fighting for anymore.
No, they remember the dog. It's it.
That's the one
it.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
The dog.
Oh, yeah, Shao
Don't
Tucker
fuck
was dad
with-
of all
don't
time.
fuck with- Don't fuck with FMAB fans. We only have 1 or 2 jokes.
Yes.
Yeah, true. No, but I think that's an accurate observation that, like, you really don't see people talking about it that much.
Yeah. Well, because it's not really relevant anymore.
Yeah, like, I don't know what else to say unless you're comparing it, or it's like a new,
solid. Yeah.
The new series coming out by the mangaka. She's making a new series. Like, I feel like that's the only reason that would, like, bring up new conversation, but I don't know.
I actually didn't know that, but that's cool.
Yeah, I have not touched it, so no idea how it is, but yeah.
Anyway,
Is it the
Kaguya.
forward side?
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I guess before I have a follow-up question for you guys, but first, what did you think of Kaguya? I guess that's a good starting point. It's Kaguya season 3.
Thought it was really good.
I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was
Super
incredible.
good.
Me
It's
too.
like we talked about in the impressions. It was just me and Moss here present, right? Who did the impressions.
Mm-hmm.
Citrus was also on it.
Were you on there?
Was I?
All right.
Yeah, for the season.
I don't even know
Was I?
anymore.
Was you? I don't know.
That was for this.
Yeah.
That was for spring, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was on there?
But
Yeah,
I think
No, yeah, you're right. I was there.
I remember saying that what I love about Kaguya is that it uses the entire medium. It's like it's not just like, I don't know, visual adaptation of whatever happens in the manga. They fuck with it.
They go hard. They go hard in the paint.
and they don't need to, but they do. And I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. Like, they will do crazy ass visuals and just mess around with it. Like, use the visual aspect of it in really creative ways that other anime don't. It's incredibly meta.
There's a very old video. I don't even know if it's still around anymore because sorry for the dead naming, but it was a Digibro video, and it was about Kill la Kill and why Kill la Kill is like the most animated show, because there's always something happening on screen, and so there's always stuff moving on Kill la Kill.
Yeah.
And this person observed that a lot of anime will have this kind of dead time where it's just characters standing and then there's lip flaps, right?
Yeah.
And so Kaguya kind of reminds me of this and how it doesn't do that, and how every single thing will have its own like visual gag. And I think that's what sets Kaguya so over the top. It's that every single moment they find a way to make it engaging, even when it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like
nothing is wasted. At
every single point, like they could just be doing nothing. Like probably my favorite example is actually a popular meme from back in before it was animated. It was Hayasaka lied naturally as she breathed.
Yeah.
Right? And that's just a thing. Like, that's just a thing the narrator can say, and they could have done nothing for that, and it would still probably been funny. But then they actually animate her doing this breathing exercise just for like 1 second, and just the fact that they do that in a place where they don't need to.
They don't need
that's
to.
what's so great about it.
And then they do it again later with Chica.
Yeah.
So they even make it like a callback. The exact same visual of the Chica. It's great.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more.
They use the entire buffalo. That's great.
Yeah. It's pretty wild too. I mean, I'm like always like mind blown every episode where it's like they really are just doing so much, and they don't necessarily have to make it good, but they really just seem to go above and beyond. But I think
I think that a lot of manga adaptations fall into kind of a trap of adapting them, where if you try, you can look at them very easily and you can pinpoint every moment in the anime that is a manga panel.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because it'll have some crazy angle or something.
Right.
It'll look different
but
in some strange way.
I was talking about this with someone recently in terms of like action shows, where a lot of the times, like some fight scenes can feel like you get the panel of like the character saying something to themselves in their head, and then you have 2 seconds of action happening, and then the action stops so that they can adapt the next panel where somebody says something.
You know what? Just to not to interrupt, but I will anyway. Attack on Titan is an example of the ones where you can tell which panels are from the manga. It's like very obviously this is like a big page turner, chapter ender picture, and then all the in between is just like, I don't know. Honestly, kind of looks pretty dull sometimes.
Yeah,
but they'll have these big like payoff shots.
But I was talking about it in the context of fight scenes because I feel like fight scenes are much better when they make an active effort to avoid that and just focus on like cool fight choreography and not how do I make sure that every single panel from that I'm not just going from one panel to the next. And Kaguya, I think, is a great example of a similar thing where they are obviously adapting everything that's in the manga, but they're going so far beyond that. They're turning it into a like continuous animated medium and not just going from the one moment they have to adapt to the next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spitting. Go off.
I think my favorite visual gag they did this season, I don't even know if it's really a visual gag, but they have one character talking over like an animated background of the universe or something, and he has like this shitty chroma key, like green screen artifacts around him. Like they drew that in. And then Hayasaka joins the frame and she also has it.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you do that?
Clever.
It's just great.
Yeah. I was still mind blown by, I think probably the best episode of the season, even though I want to say the last episode was my favorite, but if I'm being honest, the best episode is the rap battle episode.
The rap battle episode?
100% agreed.
Which is like probably the funniest episode of anime I've seen, if I'm being honest.
It's like one of the only times I've heard a rap in an anime and not been just like curled up with cringe.
I was just like, when Chika started record scratching the entire park they're standing in, that's when you're like, okay, we're in for something good. Like, this is it. It's over. And that was just like the funniest shit I've seen.
Yeah. They just killed it.
It
like,
wasn't just like a funny rap battle episode too. It was also like the culmination of like some big character arcs.
Yeah, for sure.
They went all in on like the character movement too, like Chika and what's his name, Shirogane, like walking in circles, like doing the tough guy walk.
Yeah, there's so many, like,
awesome. They were just like all in.
There's like so many like references throughout the entire season 2. Some of which I was like, okay, is that a like Kare Kano reference? Which I think it is because I haven't seen another series do it. They had an Ashita no Joe reference in just like a comedy episode, just like randomly. And it's like they have so many of those that I wonder how many I'm missing. And you don't need to know to find it funny, but I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a reference. So, I mean, if people want to argue about it being top 1, which you know they will, you could say it's truly a celebration of the medium. It's got everything. But I'm really excited because this is officially the first seasonal that I watched like weekly that I gave a 10.
First
nice.
Even though, I haven't given like a seasonal. Like I haven't
not even the past seasons of Kaguya.
No, I've always had them at 9s because I'm filthy manga reader. So I had season 1 and 2 as a 9. And then this one is a 10. And that's where it was a 10 in the manga for me. And it lived up to it. So I'm like, there you go. 10 out of 10. Let's go.
And the final episode was just amazing.
Yeah.
I've had the previous 2 seasons of Kaguya at a 7. And then this one bumped up to an 8.
I think this is a 9.
All of them are 10s for me. Seriously.
Maz is correct.
10.
I'm not even correct. Maz
buy
is
him
correct.
off with Chika. Easy.
Of course.
Maz is correct.
My girl.
Chika's really funny. I think at this point I'm like, okay, if anyone doesn't find Chika funny, I don't find you funny.
It's funny you say that because I do love Chika, but she has like gone down in the rankings a lot for me over this season, especially. Like season 1, she was absolutely my favorite character. I watched season 2 in like one day right before season 3 came out, so the two kind of blend together for me. But I feel like the other characters kind of like risen up to meet Chika so much that she doesn't really stand out anymore like she used to, because she doesn't have the same like plot significance as the others. You know, she doesn't have any sort of love drama going on.
She's very much like a loose agent, a free agent. She joins any character arc she wants.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of fine with her not having like a serious arc, so to speak, because I think they kind of need that brevity to balance everything out. Like if we had all of these different like so many different like pairings going on, it might get a bit exhausting. So I kind of view her as like a breath of fresh air between all the love drama. But I definitely see, having her fall behind a bit.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing for the show.
Yeah.
To have her not be doing the same thing as all the others. But I do think that it means she stands out a little less than she used to.
I think she's still like top 3 for me. So I still ride and die with Chika is like the funniest character in the series.
I respect that.
So it's like my... Oh, go ahead, Maz.
No, I was just going to say that's something dumb.
Do it. We just talked about Chika. This is the time.
I was just going to say I just like Chika because she's funny and cute.
Fair enough.
Well, yeah. In the ED, she's got a little ribbon painted on her helmet. It's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful attention to detail.
So I think it's definitely... Well, I mean, kind of by default. It's definitely my top 1 of the year. But I don't know. Did you guys have any competitors for top 1 2022 so far?
Yeah, I don't know. Top 1 is just kind of, it's clear it's over.
Has the world already forgotten about Spy X Family?
No.
You know, as someone who never consumed any Spy X Family before, I was kind of underwhelmed. It's a cute and fun show. Definitely. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 7, but...
Right.
You know,
was not as amazing as I expected from the way everyone talks about it.
It's overhyped, really. But
okay, I got comments. I'll save for the end. I got this.
I want to say, I am also really surprised at how super acclaimed Spy X Family was. Because I knew this was going to be popular, because this has been such a popular series as a manga, right? But it is interesting because I don't hear people talk about Spy X Family, but before the anime came out, I didn't hear people talk about it as if it was like this insanely great manga. Like, I would of course see people pick it up and be like, wow, this is really good. But like after 20 chapters or so, you don't really hear anyone talk about it anymore. And so I just kind of assumed the series was on autopilot and things like that. And then you get the anime coming out, and it's like it's the top 5 on my anime list while it's airing. And I'm like, I didn't expect that. I mean, again, I knew it was going to be popular. I knew it was going to have a good score, because it's a good adaptation. It looks great. They did a great job with the casting. They did a great job with all the animation and stuff. Yeah, it's good. But I'm like, I can't believe it's this high up. Like, that's actually kind of crazy.
It's always unfathomable to me, like, which anime make the jump to like the semi-normie crowd. To use terminology I hate using but have no better words for. Because every once in a while you get one of those that I'm like, I don't know why this one has gotten more popular than a million other shows that are equally good, but people who don't really know about anime I see talking about this one.
See, I kind of get it. I kind of do understand sometimes, because like some past examples would be the Violet Evergarden movie, or Sangatsu no Lion, or Fruits Basket. And I would say the connection those anime have is that you have these really huge emotional hooks and arcs, right? And Spy X Family doesn't have that. Like,
Spy X Family feels like a Western cartoon that they made into an anime.
I was about to say, it has a very different feel to the art style.
It feels like something we would have been watching on Cartoon Network like 10, 15 years ago.
It doesn't look like every other anime out there.
Well, I think of it as like, different. It kind of reminds me of like a Kids Next Door type of thing. Or like, they had other spy shows I'm thinking of. But like, it has that same kind of vibe of like, we have the spy and the assassin, they're really cool, but really the focus comes down to like, how is the kid dealing with the wackiness of everyday life? And I think that's something you would see in Western TV, and like that would be kind of like the point of it. But I think it's very accessible. I think it doesn't have overt anime weirdness to it. Like, that's
a good point, Shaw.
That's the real like barrier between normie anime and not, is like, okay, how weird is this show?
It's anime, but it's not like anime.
Yeah, but I
like
think
you wouldn't be embarrassed to show this to somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they might not love it, but you're not going to be called a pedophile for liking it, if we're being honest.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But I think I wouldn't have expected it to be, like, top 5 on Mal either. I think that's kind of weird, because I think what happens is, like, when people read the manga when it first came out, like me, was, like, you read a couple chapters, and you're like, okay, this is pretty good, but, like, I'm missing some of this, and this. And then if you're me, you don't read it for 2 years, and then you pick it back up and you binge it, which makes it feel better because you're not reading it every 2 weeks. And then everything kind of falls into place. So when I binged it, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm like in a good spot with this. I think it's really good. I think it's fun. Could be one of my favorites, but it's not there yet. And I think you're only seeing that kind of hype, but for the anime. But when people read this content, they didn't have it that high up there. So it's weird that people had it that high. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But long story short, I kind of have weird beef with the adaptation. And this might sound weird, but hear me out. I feel like they're adapting this like a slice of life series and not like a comedy series. And
yes.
I think,
okay,
sometimes...
Go on, because I have no idea what you mean, but I am curious.
So I think when you adapt like a slice of life series, you're kind of adapting like each scene by scene and not joke by joke. And there were a lot of times where I feel like the jokes that they make in the manga were dragged out, or they were kind of like elongated into these longer scenes that didn't actually exist or take that long in the manga. And it kind of ruins the comedy of it a bit, because a lot of it is like, people are thinking something and Anya is reacting to their thought. So it's like a really quick process. And a lot of times they drag those things out. But my go-to example is, do you guys remember, which episode was it? It was like episode 3 or something, when they're going in for their like in-person interview at the school.
Yeah.
They have this one scene where they're like looking up at the statue and like praying to it or something, or like saluting the statue, and they're like, people judging them are like, oh, look how distinguished they are, and then they like show what each person is thinking. That is like at least like 3-minute joke in the show. In the manga, that's 1 page. Like, it happens like boom, boom, boom. And
it's like
so
incidental. It's just like, oh, hey.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very quick paced. So like the jokes are timed a bit better. And I don't think they conveyed that as well in the anime. So a lot of the jokes falling flat make it just feel kind of more of that like comfy family vibe, which is fine. But it doesn't have the same humor that I think everyone loved when they originally read it.
That's interesting. I don't know if I agree, but I definitely see where you're coming from.
And it's definitely not the case for each, like, it's not the like blanket case, but it was definitely something I noticed. The more I was watching, I was like, okay, this is way more focused on the scene than the jokes, so to speak.
I kind of see what you mean, but I don't know. I don't have a problem with it.
I'm trying
to... I think that's where I'm at too.
Yeah.
I think I liked the way that they did that.
And I'm trying to figure out if I ever considered the manga a comedy or
I think it's pretty overtly a comedy. I think it's comedy first.
A lot of it has a lot of jokes, but okay.
I think it's more comedy than anything else.
Right. I guess I just found it like cozy.
And I'm also not saying it's like the anime was bad by any means. I think I have the anime at like an 8, and then I think I have the manga at like a 9. But I think for a lot of the jokes that I think made the series more endearing to me, I think they don't always handle them as well, even though they're not necessarily handling them poorly. It's just not as snappy. But we'll see, because I think season 2 comes out in like fall.
Yeah, it's a split core.
Yeah.
The big thing I've been disappointed with is that we see basically nothing of Yor.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest issue when I was reading it, and then I stopped for 2 years.
I've heard that that's just an issue with the manga too. That
yes.
Yeah,
it takes a long time, but she does get some focus later.
Yeah, and it's really good.
And it's
like every other episode, they have Yor talking about all these assassinations she's doing. But
oh man, I can't believe I killed all those people yesterday.
She was introduced.
Yeah, I'm just like such a sucker for like spy, espionage, assassin stuff in this like time frame. So this is kind of like right up my alley. But I do wish they had like a bit more Yor, a bit more of Yor and Lloyd. But you know, what can you do? Hope
not Germany.
Not Germany.
Berlin. Anyway, there's a lot of great Yor fan art still. People have not forgotten about this show. Not on Twitter.
She does have an extremely good design.
They all have. Like the character designs of the main trio is so. It's
like
good.
the straps on her chest are supporting a lot more than just her ridiculously huge titties. They are also supporting the entire character.
I don't even think they have like ridiculously huge. Like for anime titties, they're not massive.
Although they definitely are, if you believe the fan art.
I did notice, like, they went to the opera and she's wearing her assassin dress there. I mean, I guess to other people it's just like a nice dress.
Yeah, well, I guess no one lives to see it.
Like,
that's like her work uniform.
No one lives to see it again, so how would they know?
I guess that's true. But yeah, she has amazing design.
Yeah, I think all of them have a great design.
The main problem with Spy X Family is that with Yoru specifically, or especially, well, not all three of them. Okay, basically, my problem with Spy X Family and what kind of holds it back from being super good is that if you take away the fact that Yoru is an assassin and also that Lloyd is, a spy or whatever, they're not interesting characters. They're just extremely normal people. It's like what I think Anya, meanwhile, is actually a really good character because she has so much depth to her personality and there's so much going on with her emotionally because she's a child and she's just very dynamic. But then you also add on to the fact that she's an esper and can read minds. And it's like, that's really interesting, but she didn't have to have that character trait to be interesting. Meanwhile, Yoru and Lloyd are just like very normal and ordinary characters that I don't think anyone would care about. But then you add in this weird quirk about them, and it's like, oh, okay, now they're kind of interesting. But that's kind of what holds it back.
I mean, you could focus a lot more of the show on Anya's weird school shenanigans, and it would be a great show still.
That's pretty much what they do.
With Desmond and
that's
Becky.
That's what a lot of season 1 has felt like. It's just Anya going to school, and it's great.
I do find Lloyd and Yor pretty interesting on their own, but I think Lloyd. I think they both definitely get more as the series goes on, but I think what I always got from Lloyd, at least in the manga, and I think it carries over in the anime, is like his like deadpan sarcasm. That's just like the immediate response for everything is pretty funny. But I think, I don't know, it's tough to tell. I think that's also kind of the appeal though, is that like everyone is likable enough, so you're willing to sit around while they get more focus, and that's kind of the boat I was in, and now where I'm at, where I'm like, yeah, I'll watch them do anything, and I'm gonna have a good time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think the only true weak link as of now of someone who I'm like, I do not want to see more of you is Yuri. I think he's just kind of annoying.
That guy sucks.
Everyone hates Yuri. I thought he was fun.
Yeah, I liked him.
Why?
I think I think he's a good dynamic to add to the show.
He just cares about his sister. What's wrong with that?
I think we've revealed some fetishes unintentionally.
You see, I don't mind his role. He's just too much.
Yeah.
He likes Yoru in a really creepy way that's kind of uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, he's definitely a little much, but I really like the concept that your sister or your brother is a member of the secret police.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
that is.
I think that's kind of what we were talking about before, though, where like take away his role and he sucks.
And I enjoy that he's trying to He's trying to prove that Lloyd is a spy, even though he doesn't actually have any reason to believe it. I think that's a fun way to approach that like cat and mouse dynamic without having to.
Meanwhile, Lloyd knows the secret police manual so well.
I do appreciate the chaos factors that. I just wish he was like a bit more enjoyable while doing it. Like, make out with my sister to prove you love her. Wait, don't do that. I'm in love with my sister. Like, okay.
Don't do that. I can't take it.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of the Kanye song where he's like, what if we fuck right now? What if we fuck right now? What if we fuck right on this table in front of everybody? Or something like that.
It's so funny.
I knew Shaw would appreciate
That's essentially his energy.
But that's
fun show,
fine.
but I think it's tough also. I mean, I love both, so definitely no intended shade, but it is very difficult to have like the beginning season of a comedy air at the same time as like Kaguya at its best. Like,
yeah,
it's tough.
Well, I did think it was funny because I think Spy X Family is very similar to Kaguya in how they're both series about kind of deception and characters hiding things from each other in order to love each other, I guess, or however you want to put it. And
they have the best character design.
The designs look almost identical, just different art style.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, there is a fan art of Kaguya and Miyuki as Yoru
and then Chika.
Lloyd.
Yeah.
And Chika, yeah, that's so perfect.
And Chika's on, yeah, it's great.
That is good.
I stand.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on to another show.
Well, yeah. What is it? What else
let
is
me
this year?
Transition from a comedy that was not quite as good as I was expecting to a comedy that was a lot better than I was expecting, which is Bisque.
I was also about to move on to Bisque, but my transition would have been another show that feel like it's been forgotten, but fan artists say otherwise.
I don't think this has been forgotten at all.
It's actually huge.
Yeah.
A weird thing about Bisque, though, is that it's caught in the crossfire of shows that are way worse than it, that people rightfully criticize, in my opinion. But people like post images of Marine along with Nagatoro and Uzaki and Takagi. They're like, these are all terrible characters that deserve to die.
Yeah, these women have dealt more damage to the skin.
Irreparable damage.
Yeah, that is totally true.
And I understand where it's going. I understand where this opinion is going, but like Marine is so much better than all of those.
And Koumei-san is also in there always.
I don't know what the fuck Koumei's.
The fuck did she do?
Yeah, is she just collateral damage? Like, what are they doing?
I guess because she grows cat ears and so does Nagatoro. I don't know.
That's what I feel like. The word incel has done irreparable damage to like humanity.
Don't tell those people that there's a new Tokyo Mew Mew out. They're gonna fucking kill themselves.
Too many cats. No.
I just don't get it.
It's true that Bisque has all the qualities of one of those atrocious shows that I hate, but I actually just really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I think it's like the perfect 7 out of 10 show.
Yeah.
It's really well made.
I don't know. They somehow managed to like have the typical setup where this like completely unappealing, boring ass guy with no personality has the chick who's way out of his league fawning over him for some reason.
I mean, I can tell you
but actually made me believe that she would fall for him.
I can tell you what the difference is.
Okay, go ahead.
It's that a lot of these shows will just like tangentially focus on some kind of activity. Like Nagatoro, the guy likes painting, but it never like fully explores painting. And Nagatoro is a swimmer and does martial arts, but it never fully goes into that. Dress Up Darling, Bisque Doll, whatever, is super in-depth about cosplay and how to make costumes and him learning it. And he also paints these little dolls in his spare time, like as his job. It's hyper-focusing on these things, but the author actually cares. And goes into detail about how it works. And so it makes sense that she would fall for his passion about the subject.
Because they actually have like a shared interest.
He's interesting because he has a skill and a passion.
That makes sense.
It's not like a crutch. It's like the focus of the show.
He's not just a boring guy who does a thing. He is like a guy who is super into one thing, and so he doesn't talk to people.
Yeah, so basically, it's a dedicated hobby show disguised as a, I don't know, teasing comedy.
It is a passion is attractive show.
It's a niche club show. That's right.
And it makes sense because both of them have insecurities about their hobbies, and the other person both reaffirms them that they're not weird or worse than other people for having these hobbies. And that's kind of shown from episode 1 as a mutual point of insecurity for both of them. So when I see people being like, he's just boring, he has nothing going on, it's like, okay, so you dead ass just like did not watch the show. You just like remember Nagatoro memes you saw online and were like, yeah, this is the same thing.
Highly skilled in his craft, and he's a quick learner when it comes to making costumes because of his craft. Like, he's used to fine little detail work. The difference is Marin is like horrible at that kind of stuff, so that's why he needs him. She needs him.
See, I think
she's got money.
I think the guy is boring, but he's boring in a good way because he has a passion and a real hobby, and so he has depth to the character.
I mean, I don't know what these people
if I may get a bit crazy, I would say he's not boring. He is straightforward and shy, but he's not boring.
Yes. Okay. He's not boring because
I don't want to get crazy here, but
I don't even mean to say he's boring in a bad way.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's like, what is the opposite? It's like manic pixie boyfriend. Is that what people want?
Yeah. I think he's just like a normal guy. He's very normal, but like in a good way.
He has a very introverted skill set, and he's a very introverted kind of person. That doesn't necessarily mean you've got nothing going on and you're super boring.
Yeah. These are all good points.
Yeah. But that's one of those shows that I think is like getting unfairly criticized by, I have to assume people didn't watch the show, but then sometimes people do watch the show and they make comments as if they didn't. Because I'm not even saying you have to think this is like the best show of all time, but a lot of the claims I see just seem very inaccurate.
But he's another one of these main characters where you can be very introverted guys with hobbies they don't share with anybody. You can be like, oh, he's just like me, for real. Like, I'm sitting over here in my cave painting little minis no one ever sees. I'm like, oh, just like me.
Wait, so Panic is this guy?
Except I can't make any dresses. Nobody hit me up about that.
You haven't tried.
I can paint your figures. If you have any.
Wait, you could be a makeup artist. Makeup artist Panic Art.
I'm colorblind, though.
Okay, this is an uphill battle. I'm very sorry.
One of my best friends does like darkroom color photography rendering and is colorblind. So
yeah,
because you probably just match the color.
She complains about it constantly. And it's really hard to do under those conditions.
All just practice.
But if she can do that, then
yeah, I know. I mean, it's all just practice and remembering the colors of things without necessarily seeing them yourself.
I would assume maybe just a reason why people are why there is some backlash about Marine. And I actually I'm going to interrupt my own thought by just saying we're kind of talking about the show as if it has a lot of backlash, which is kind of true, but it does have an 8.3 on my anime list. Like this is a fairly well acclaimed show for all intents and purposes.
It will definitely be one of the favorites of the year.
I just think it's kind of picked on because of it's like the seasonal waifu syndrome where when the show was
there's
airing,
one every season. There has to be one.
Well, sure, but I mean Marine herself, like from my experience personally, this character has been posted more than like any character I've ever seen when the show was airing. Like it was just so she's just so popular that
I've seen like 5 pictures of her today.
Yeah, like seasonal waifu, I think implies that the character is just popular for the season, and then you just kind of drop her, and it's like whatever. But this girl is well beyond that level.
It usually keeps going for a little bit. I feel like if she's still popular in half a year, that's like the test.
Yeah,
it's like Suru too. She's a seasonal waifu, but she kept going for a bit.
It's been 6 months since the show started.
Right, I know. So if she lasts a year and still keeps being insanely popular,
then she's not just a seasonal waifu; she's a popular character.
There's obviously the popularity of being in an airing show, and then there's like a cool down after that.
Sure.
We'll see how well she does in the Best Girl contest next year.
That'll be interesting.
She wins instantly.
You think?
I don't know.
She's definitely going to do really well.
Okay, who do you guys think will win in that contest? Her versus Yor?
Oh, Yor.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I would
think
say
Yor.
Marine.
I think Yor got it.
I would say Marine.
Anya.
I think
Yeah.
this would be one of those. Yeah, actually, Anya.
Unironically, Anya wins.
I think Yor would be higher seeded than Marine, but Marine would beat her in a head-to-head.
I don't think so. I don't think so, and I don't mean that against Marine. I think Yor is too strong.
Well, that's the kind of situation you come up with where more people will have seen Yor, and thus she'll get a higher seed. But when they match up against each other, people who have seen both will prefer Marine.
Gotcha.
That's my guess.
Gotcha. It makes sense. It all makes sense.
I will say, like, another big point of contention with this show that I saw while it was airing was... were you expecting me to say something weird?
No, I'm sorry. I'm interrupting again. I just checked the best girl contest that's going on right now. I just saw that Mayuri is up against Hollow this round.
Oh no.
Who will die? They'll somehow both
probably Mayuri.
Right.
Which is going to be horrible.
Anyway, what I was about to say, something... Another reason she gets lumped in with all these seasonal waifus is undoubtedly that it's another high school romance. It's just high school romance every single season. They're all high school romances.
Well, sure,
couldn't this just have been set in college and been just as good?
Possibly not. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of here for both of it in terms of like. There's a good place for, like, this type of high school romance where I feel like it actually is, like, a bit more accurate to high schoolers sometimes. But I also feel you in wanting more college romance. But the only reason I'd say maybe not this one is because I don't even think Gojo would go to college because he's going to pursue doll making.
True.
Also, I think that, like, there's a point that, like, the difference from high school to college is such that a character like Gojo, I think... It's a lot easier to be sympathetic to him in high school, like just being like unpopular and shy and not having anybody to talk about his interests with. Yeah. Whereas by the time you get to like young adulthood, if you're still like, I can't talk to anybody because of something like, because somebody made fun of my hobby when I was 6 years old, then you go from being like sad and sympathetic to just a loser, I think.
That's a really good point. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think tangentially, I think that there should be more college romances in favor of Panic's point, which would be cool.
I would like to be able to express joy with a show without people calling me out.
Well, they're also like, okay, I don't know.
They're in high school.
Okay, I think that's getting like people complaining about that where you're like, I'm not getting into it, but I think that's more of them being kind of like looking for something to complain about than being like tangentially related to the topic at hand.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Panic writes
altogether.
One final note on this show. I have no idea what a Bisque doll is supposed to be, but I will continue to call it that forever because the name My Dress Up Darling makes me feel viscerally uncomfortable.
Dress Up Darling?
Yeah. I just call it Dress Up Darling. I take the my out of it so there's no ownership, just a Dress Up Darling.
Yeah, that does make it better.
Bisque is that's like a lobster thing, right? It's like a soup.
Yeah, I just think of the soup. When you guys say bisque, I'm like, lobster bisque? This might be out of nowhere, but did anyone see the obviously going to not be good movie Bubble? Because I just saw that last week.
No.
Is that the one?
Is that the one by Miyazaki's son?
The one by, it's got the all-star team. It's by
that's all I know about
it. Sawano?
Yeah, Sawano, the Araki, Yorubushi wrote it, with Studio, and I think someone, and this isn't, okay, I have shade. I don't think we should be calling the Death Note creator as like peak character designer. They're like, and the character designs from the Death Note mangaka, and it's like, okay, that's not really as good, but okay, he's here too.
Okay, great. L looks cool. That's it.
And they look like characters from Bakuman, but like some of them are not even different. Like they just copy pasted them. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But I guess I'll save everyone time. Yeah, it was not good. So there you go. Right. That was it. It was not good. There were some flashy colors, and they had some cool animation for when they did parkour, but it was not good.
Not good out of 10. Oh shit, has parkour.
It does have
Instant
parkour.
10.
I did like the parkour, if I'm being honest. I was like,
Right.
I can't be too mad at it because I'm like, that was kind of cool. But then they tried to make like an allegory between the Little Mermaid, and I love the Little Mermaid. So I'm like, you guys are really just like ragging on my childhood to make this mid-ass movie. So I took that personally.
A show that didn't have parkour, but could have had, without interrupting anything or feeling weird, was your boy Kongming.
Koumei.
Oh, I completely forgot about Koumei.
Which one?
Yeah, because it kind of ended up like
Your boy Kongming.
Paripi Koumei.
Oh, that one. I wasn't sure how to say it. I was like, that one
Your
was
boy
awesome.
Kongming. Kind of came out of fucking nowhere. Was really, really good. And then it ended and I kind of forgot all about it. Because I did not... I mean, I guess the ending was nice, but it was like kind of... It was just over. There you go. Done.
Yeah, I have hot takes about this show, which is that I thought the first half of it was really good, and then the second half was kind of trash.
Second half, when it focuses on the actual music part or whatever, it's like,
Yeah.
it's kind of not good. I liked it when he was being a strategic fucker, not when it's about, oh, you've got to feel your heart in the music.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a shame because
I liked Eiko, but
Eiko is great.
she was not the best part of the show. Koumei was the best.
No,
part
I
of the
love
show.
them
he
together.
Gets a lot less relevant. After,
It's basically
What
like
the
3
fuck?
entire episodes in a row. He's not there.
false advertising. It's not called your boy Eiko.
Your boy
it's your boy
Eiko.
Koumei.
Yeah, boy Nakimi, whatever lead singer of the other band, who becomes like the new main character almost.
Wait, so I've only gone a few episodes into it,
spoilers.
and I don't care. That guy, I just got to that guy. Like, he's just introduced. That's a major character.
Oh wait,
The
guy?
rapper?
What guy?
The guy in the band.
Oh, the rapper.
Oh wait.
Right.
Oh, never mind. Okay. For some
Yeah,
reason,
we're
I
not
thought,
talking about Sono.
I was talking
First
about
off, the rapper gets introduced and he kind of sucks.
yeah,
He's
I did
okay.
get to that. For some reason, I thought you were talking about. For some reason, I thought you were talking about the lead singer in the band that Eiko was like competing
Oh, that
against.
band. No. They
Okay,
never come back.
okay,
I was
that
talking about the
makes
band
more
that's in the
sense.
OP called Azalea. Iggy Azalea
Oh.
is in this anime.
Oh shit! No wonder why it sucks.
First things first. But yeah, it becomes a lot about her all of a sudden, like almost being a mentor, and it's just not very
That's
engaging
just not
at all.
interesting. Yeah. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for Koumei
I'm
being
here-
like a
The
brilliant
entire
asshole.
point of the show is that Kongming died and got sent to modern day Japan. I don't care about singing with your heart.
Yeah, I feel that.
I got that in K-On! They did it better. You and I.
First half of that show is great though. Kongming, one of the best boys of the year.
I gotta catch up and
Absolutely.
see how it is because it looks fun and it looks like the opening is a banger. But
It is really
The
fun.
opening is
And
so good.
It has the best opening of the year. Like no question. Well,
Absolutely, like
what are
OP
the opening of the year
decade.
contenders? That's my question.
I said that, and then I immediately remembered the
Ousama ranking?
second Ousama ranking.
Yeah.
OP,
Oh,
Those two.
which is also one of the best OPs. I've ever seen.
Like that one gives me like shivers. So I think that
Yeah.
wins.
that dude who I gotta look his name up. The guy who does the opening for that also did like the
Vondi.
JJK openings,
Vondi.
which I like.
I was about to say Vosh.
Eve?
Vosh.
Is that his name?
Eve.
It's Vondi.
Oh.
No, it's not the
Vondi.
band. It's the animator behind it, like the director.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the song they have a similar director or animator behind it, and he did like a video on Crunchyroll. I should know his name, but so essentially they either have the same director or like key animator / director for like Ousama ranking OP2 and then Jujutsu Kaisen OP2.
Oh, okay. I see.
Speaking of
Let me look
speaking
up.
of OP
Let me
of
do the
year,
research.
Did Kaguya season 3 also win ED of the year with that one weird like K-pop dance?
Oh yeah,
off?
I forgot to mention that I've been wondering why they're, with the Chica dance, it happened for one episode, and I'm like, everybody's kind of been wondering, like, are they ever going to do a special ED like that ever again? And they did. They finally
Yeah.
did.
It looked
it was
fucking
good.
wild.
I like
It
both
was
of them too.
Insane.
I think his name is Shingo Yamashita. I think so. I think so. Yes.
Take your word
I think
for
he
it.
did. Yes, that's the guy. He did Jujutsu Kaisen OP 1 and 2, and then he did Ousama ranking OP 2.
Oh,
Okay.
And he did other stuff
Cool.
that's not as notable, but whatever.
I don't remember the visuals for the Jujutsu Kaisen OPs at all. I
They
remember
were
the
very
EDs.
heat. The old guy was playing guitar in the second one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And the first one looks kind of like Tokyo Ghoul-ish, where it's like, oh, he's sad while sitting down, you know.
He's sad on the outside, but he's
while
also
sitting
sad
down.
on the inside.
He's sad on the outside and inside.
Damn.
Just like me.
Just like me for real.
Hashtag relatable.
He just like me. But yeah.
Would we consider ranking of Kings one of the best anime of the year?
I
Absolutely.
had it on my list because, I mean, it ended this year. I don't know if
Yeah,
that
it's kind of
counts.
cheating because it was only half in this year, but
I haven't finished it yet.
Officially, it counts since it
I
ended.
think it counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
we have a
I
whole
will
pod
say,
talking about that.
I do have an observation of it that's a little bit negative, where as this series was going on for the 6 months that it aired, I just constantly heard like, "Oh my god, Ranking of Kings! It's like the best show ever." And then it ended, and everyone was like, "It was okay."
I swear it was like, I heard that too, but I swear it was like for 90% of the run, I heard that like New Modern Classic, top 10 of all time, like best anime in recent years. Then the last couple episodes came out and they're like, yeah, so that was like pretty good, but it kind of fell off in the last couple episodes. And I was like, I heard none of that in real time. Like, did you guys just, like, when did that happen?
So- I wouldn't say that it fell off towards the end, but I would say that the better part of it was the first half, if that makes sense.
That does.
Yeah. And, you know, I get that too. Like, I think some people take, like, the second half is not as good as the first half, as, like, it fell off, as in, like, there's no quality to it at all. But sometimes you just have a better first half than second half.
Right. It happens.
So,
but it was a fantastic show.
Would you
That's
put
in
it-
my top 3 shows of the year so far, along with Kaguya.
what is the third show?
Third show is Summertime Render,
I was about to
baby.
say,
Oh.
sometime render.
I
Good
was
transition.
wondering.
Killing it.
Baby.
I was wondering if we were going to talk about Summertime Render, because I feel like because it's still going as we
Yeah, it's
record.
half done.
And I feel like that's probably going to be a show where we just have to do an entire podcast about it when it's over.
I am just
Definitely, yeah.
I'll
so
binge up
anxious.
to be on that if you need extra spots. But it looks
I
really
am
cool.
so anxious with Summertime Render because, like all great mystery shows, it starts off like all mystery shows. It starts off really good, and then it has like a 50-50 shot of just fumbling the ball.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
anxious
it's true.
I'm anxious to see it because every single week I just see Sinris in the Discord being like, "I can't believe it! It's still adding more stuff. It's still getting better. How is it doing this? What the
It keeps
fuck?"
adding stuff, and it hasn't contradicted itself yet. How does it do it?
I think that my guess is that as of like the last, well, no, I was going to say that as of the end of the first core, it's going to be a 2-core series. That I was pretty sure we had seen we like had all the information now, but then I was just like, no, there's been one episode since the second core started, and that one still just like had yet another enormous twist. So the show truly does not quit.
It's hard to talk about Summertime Render because it's a mystery and basically knowing anything about it can be kind of a spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just something you have to see for yourself.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I also, panic, it's gotta happen. You said it at the beginning. Someone told me that the opening reminds them of Higurashi and Umineko. I had to bring it up one time during the pod, so...
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
This opening does kind of look like those.
There it is. It's got me.
I know nothing about that.
all
Tears in
weird
my
and
eyes.
cryptic.
New top 1 incoming.
Like, I
Peak
keep
fiction.
looking for it to get fucky in the OP and ED, and the ED eventually got there, but the OP was just like this maze-like drawing. I was like, are we supposed to see something in this? I don't know. Is it a clue? Nah, it probably just looks cool.
But yeah, Summertime Render is definitely a AOTY contender so far.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you're right. We can't really. We probably shouldn't say much about it.
Yeah, just go into it blind. Definitely watch that first episode. It'll, and after that, at the end of the first episode, it'll be like, oh, okay, that's why they were going to talk about it.
That's why they didn't want to say anything. Yes,
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it's great. It's really good. And I don't know. Anything else that's really good this year that we should
talk about? Attack on Titan?
Oh, I forgot Attack on Titan happened.
See, this is what I was saying when the season was ending. I was like, okay, now I'm going to completely forget about Attack on Titan for another year until they're like, okay, final season.
Kind of just left off on a big, like, stay tuned.
I'm glad that they are adapting the entire manga, and I'm glad they're doing TV series of it. I'm glad they're not doing a movie, because I don't want to wait longer than... I don't want the movie to be out and then have to wait for it to get localized, which is going to happen to Kaguya-sama. Thank you.
But movie Kaguya is going to kind of hit.
But I just don't understand why they've called this the final season when there's 3 fucking parts to it.
Yeah, we can't all be Gintama and roll with the final season punches that well. But...
It was funny the first time when they announced part 2, especially because I kind of called it. I'm like, nah, they're going to have another final season, and that's going to be funny. But you can't do it twice. Now it's just annoying. But that doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Yep.
So how was the final season? The as I call it, the last season of Attack on Titan, because I've only seen half of it so far.
Season.
I mean, I think it's in a weird spot, like it's kind of like the sandwich in between the first final part and the final part. So like the beginning and end are super reliant on like the parts that come before and after it. So it ends at a weird spot and begins at a weird spot, but like I think they nailed some of the big moments, but it also kind of suffers from having like, I think a lot of the big moments at the beginning and then one big moment at the end. I think.
Yeah, that checks out.
I think. But I think it's like overall I think it's good, but I mean, I don't know if I liked it as much as the beginning of season 4. I don't know. I think it was still pretty good. Like, I think you'll enjoy it, but like, I don't think it'll be as high as the beginning of season 4. But that's just my prediction.
My big criticism of it was that it was just really slow.
Yeah.
It just feels like there's a lot of filler in it.
Yeah, stretching a lot.
Yeah, not filler, but stretching things out like much longer than they needed to be.
I think we also noted in the final episode that like binging Attack on Titan versus watching it weekly are 2 like completely different experiences, and a lot of the and a lot of the gripes we had weekly might not be as apparent binging. Yeah,
good point.
I think I don't know, some series you just can't. Sometimes you just need to binge them, and watching weekly is like not it. I don't know.
Anything else big
for this year?
Watched?
Well, I want to say just before we move on, because Attack on Titan, I will add some hype to Attack on Titan and say that it probably has episode of the year.
Ooh, that's a good question. Which episode?
Basically when the rumbling activates.
Oh,
that whole the backstory with that girl.
Yeah, Ymir. Yeah.
I didn't like that episode.
That episode was insane.
That has my favorite quote of "You started the story, didn't you?" which I use both ironically and unironically on a regular basis.
Do it, Dad. Do it.
Do it. That's a good question, though. What would you guys say would be other episode of the year contenders?
Hip Hop Kaguya.
Yeah, that's okay. That was mine, but I think that the last episode.
Hip Hop Kaguya is a good answer. Trying to think of other things. I don't know if Ousama has any one episode that's kind of in contention for that.
I mean the fight.
Oh, the big fight. Yeah.
The big one. The big one.
Yeah. Maybe the beach episode of Dress Up Darling. I like that one.
That sounds so good.
Maybe throw that in there.
I'm having a hard time remembering like specific episodes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I think those are probably the biggest contenders.
I'll just randomly drop in. I think it was episode 5 of Princess Connect. Not that it was like an amazing episode story-wise, but it just had
one
the
with
most,
the most
animation? Insane animation.
Oh, yes. That was
for no reason.
Pure Sakuga. That was insanity. For no fucking... Like, they really didn't need to go that hard.
It was yeah. But that's up there.
Are there any, like, standout episodes of Kongming? Maybe the Battle of the Bands. I mean, that was really good. When they're fighting the other band.
No, I don't know.
Wait, I remembered a big one. Did we just all forget about a Demon Slayer? Is that part of the? Did we all
watch this new season?
I haven't seen Demon Slayer's new season.
Yeah, I was thinking about Demon Slayer, but I didn't think there was any episode I'd shout out for that.
Maybe I don't know if it's one of the last ones or not. I like the season. I like this season. Like another 7, but like, you know, I had a good time with it.
Bisco,
this season.
Bisco probably also had like big explosive episode. I want to say because it has so many like cool fights and the music.
Yeah,
awesome.
I was going to bring up Bisco because that was a great show that not enough people watched.
Which one?
Yeah, Sabikui Bisco.
Oh.
You know, I was wondering about this because I haven't seen it beyond my first impressions, but like I really liked it when it started, and I think a lot of people did too. But I just haven't heard anything about it basically since it started. It just seems to have it's basically like Sakugan from last year, where it's like, oh, it has a really great first episode, and then it just dies. I don't know.
There was a contingent of people in our Discord who were watching and enjoying it all the way through.
I just listened to the main theme on repeat. It's so fucking good.
There should be a genre of anime where the first episode is good, and they don't
exactly.
Yeah, no, Bisco was a great show all the way through. I really enjoyed it.
All right.
It was. It's a hard show to describe too because it's very strange.
Because it has so many different things in it, and my description of it is that it's basically Dorohedoro. Even though it has
it's like Dorohedoro if you like
things.
take off all the grime.
It's like it's Mad Max, Desert, Queens. Nomad, crabs, flying snails, crazy shit, and then crazy music.
Yeah, it's a show that you can't really describe what's going on, even though there is a plot, but you just have to just say what's in the show, because that's just a better way of explaining it. Such as there's this guy who runs the town, and he's voiced by Suda Kenjiro, and he has a mafia that wears bunny suits.
Yeah.
As one does.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The main characters ride around on a giant crab. The titular character Bisco is an archer, and where his arrows land, enormous mushrooms grow.
Big fat mushrooms everywhere.
Yeah.
That really is Dorohedoro.
Yeah, it is.
Love me some mushrooms.
There's a guy, I think the actual main character of the show, he's a doctor who looks like a panda, and his sister is from Cells at Work Black.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's awesome. I love her.
She's so good.
She fights with just like a
what's her line?
It's not even a sword.
In the final episode where she's attacking the giant mech and someone tells her to be careful, and she's like, I just stole a kiss from a living god. Nothing can stop me.
That's awesome.
She's just great.
Yeah, she's the best. The whole show is just like, it's just like so hyperactive in a way, I guess.
The show has ADHD.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this idea salad.
Yeah, totally. It's an idea salad. That's a great way of putting it. And yeah, it's just such a joy. In addition to all the great action, the like bromance between Bisco and
Dr. Panda.
Dr. Panda is like, it's really genuine. I love him.
Just That's bros good. Being bros. Looking exactly like the main bro of Skate the Infinity. Exact same color theme.
Yeah, he's Skate the Infinity character.
Scoot. When are we getting season 2 in Canada on snowboards?
I checked the other day. There's been no news about
God damn
whatever it was they announced. for Skip.
Have you reached out to them and suggested your idea? Because it's
No,
it's the
I haven't
best.
made my pitch.
It's
no.
the best shit I've ever heard. It's so perfect.
I want to bring up a series that I've been watching, and I've personally really enjoyed it a lot. I don't think a lot of people will agree with this being one of the best anime of the year. That's fine, but this is one of my best anime of the year, and it's called Aharen-san is Indecipherable.
Ooh, yes.
And it's this very quiet, low-key comedy about a gimmick character, or a couple of gimmick characters, basically, where this one girl is just super quiet, and in a way she's kind of incompetent at some things, like she doesn't understand distance and personal space very well, and then there's this guy who just does whatever he can to understand and help her. He just feels compelled.
But he also has a tendency to overinterpret.
Yeah, so
everything.
like constantly in his head, like something will happen or something, and he
like
will...
her hair is weird, and he comes up with every single reason why her hair could be weird.
Yeah, he'll just have this insane, exaggerated...
Oh, she's in a metal band.
image of what it could possibly be. So it kind of touches on the absurd comedy by doing that, but it stays really quiet the entire time. The show is very low energy, and I really appreciate that, because it stands out against something like Takagi-san, where, you know, it's a low-key show, but then you get the punchline or like the end of the game or whatever they're doing, and then you get that loud reaction from Nishikata, and Takagi's laughing, and it's like, aha, you know, big exciting moment. You don't, like, Aharen-san is basically doing the same thing, but it doesn't have that peak. It's always just really quiet, really low-key. Yeah. Like, something crazy will happen, and characters will just be like, oh. All right. And that's what I really like about it. It's just so quiet, and it's relaxing, but it's also, because it's so low-key and characters aren't so over the top, that's why it's more funny to me personally.
I've been seeing screenshots of it, and it looks really cute.
It is adorable. And actually, these two characters do develop a relationship. Basically. Like, it does kind of build up to that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great.
Like, they have some great little gags in it. One where I was, like, actually laughing out loud, which I don't often do when watching comedies alone. It's like, it seems weird.
What
like,
was
laughing to myself. I'm like, why? But it actually had one. It's like when he breaks her in half when they're doing stretches at gym. And he just keeps like pushing further and further, and eventually it's like crack. And she's just like a flip phone, completely collapsed. And then she just gets up.
My favorite gag in the show is that Aharen-san will win something, like she'll win an arcade game and then win all these prizes and then give them to Raido. And then what he does is he stacks them up along his bed, but he just keeps getting more and more of them until it's just like his entire room is just surrounded by all these dolls. And in one of the weirdest things that happen is that for an art project, Aharen creates a clone of herself, basically. Like, she creates like a paper mache doll of herself and then gives it to Raido. So then you just get this scene of him just laying in bed trying to sleep, but then there's this lifelike Aharen doll standing over him, just staring at him, and he's like, I can't do this anymore.
Meanwhile, he's still surrounded by all the other little bears and shit. Yeah. He's won throughout the series.
Actually, no, my favorite gag in the show is that they play Pokemon, and Aharen wins by using fear.
Which makes sense to some people, I assume, but...
fear stands for Focus Sash, Endeavor, Quick Attack, Ratata. It is a gimmick competitive strategy that actually exists in competitive Pokemon, but it's so niche and random that you would have to actually know competitive Pokemon to understand it. And the fact that it's in a real show, and it's like, even actual Pokemon wouldn't have this.
Yeah. They also had a fidget spinner episode and another hip-hop episode where they're rapping.
Yeah,
it's the same week as
it's been a great Kaguya, year, right? for fun anime caps, for fun hats that say stupid things.
That too.
like creme brulee or just brulee or beef. They just say random shit. It's awesome. A show I would like to shout out, like on a personal note, is a very recent one. Is Don't Hurt Me, My Healer, or whatever it's called. Kono Healer Mendokusai. Just ended. Cute little fantasy comedy. Very different from the usual suspects of that category. Just like, what would you call that? That style of comedy of the straight man. What is that called?
Oh,
I don't know.
I know there's a term for it, but I call it straight man because I can't pronounce.
Yeah, it's
Japanese
just like straight
words.
man comedy, but where she is just like absolutely murderously vicious in everything she says, but she doesn't intend to be. Just like the biggest asshole, but she means well, or does she? So much so that when she tries to cast healing magic, it ends up being a curse.
It's called
She's a healer who
Tsukomi?
can't heal.
Tsukomi.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
I had
It's
to look
kind
it up.
of like that. Like, she'll say something absurd and he will react. But the things she say are just mind-boggling sometimes. Just pressuring people into weird shit because she doesn't know what she's saying. It doesn't have a great score in Mal. I would like to fix that. I would like for more people to watch it because I think it's fun. Smurf also liked it. It's like our show, our hill to die on.
So many shows are just so aesthetically similar like that I have a hard time keeping
It doesn't
straight which ones are
look
which.
the best. It has like a very special style to it, but also still looks like kind of a mid to low budget seasonal. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
it's very plain looking.
Yeah,
but I just love Carla's comedy. It's so great.
well, that's good.
Any other like personal recommendations that no one else has seen?
Yeah.
I want to say a couple words about a show that was not especially good, but just captured my attention in such a bizarre way all through winter, which was Akebi-chan's sailor uniform.
Oh man,
Is that the one
This
with
thing.
feet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which thing?
That was
It's the foot show.
was an incredibly strange show because most of the time it was like a pretty good, like genuine sentimental slice of life show, but also it was just really weirdly fetishy.
Yeah.
And
It popped off in some weird ways.
yeah, I don't like,
It's like,
and
oh, what are you
not in
doing
the
over
sense
there?
of like,
Oh,
there's like a
it's-
famous moment in the first episode where like a girl is clipping her toes and then like sniffs them.
She sniffs the
She
clipper.
sniffs the
Yeah.
clipper.
Oh, she sniffed. Yeah, she sniffs.
It's even more
Sniffs the
specific.
clipper. Her own
why-
toenail
stop
clipper?
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Okay, I won't ask.
But there's no explanation for it. That's the kind of thing, though. It'll just have like these weird moments like that are
She
just like
did have a reason. Like, I don't know. She, like, maybe in some weird way she got off to it. I don't know. She
Well,
said
that's
there
the
was something about it, but I
interpretation.
forgot.
the show never presents any of it in a horny way. But there's so many things that are like, there's no way you would put this in if you weren't getting off to it.
Yeah, it's someone's fetish.
It's
Right.
so specific and odd, and not just something everybody can relate to and do.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason it's there. There has to
Um,
be. Or does he just
was-
think everybody does that?
It was
No, that
also
wasn't what it
the
was.
most like shameless Yuri bait slice of life I have seen in a long, long time.
What makes it? I feel like there are a lot like that. So what makes it so shameless? Like what makes it like get that such an esteemed title?
Well, it's not
Episode
that
1
it's,
is titled "This Is Your
it's not
Date."
that it's like excessive about that compared to other shows of that sort. It's just I don't feel like I've seen a show like that in a while. Whereas this one is like that's like an all-female cast and all the girl. It's basically about like how Akebi is just like the most interesting person alive, and everyone around her loves her. And each episode is like focused on a different girl and their interactions with her. But I don't know, it's such a weird show, and I'm not going to be able to explain it well, in part because it's been a while since I watched it now. But it has strange vibes. That's all I can say about Akebi.
I do like the look of it.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's another thing about it, is that it was like beautiful art and animation, except that the character designs are really uncanny. Their faces are like their eyes are so wide apart for no reason. Yeah. It's a show that just like defied my ability to comprehend it at every turn.
It's a very unique slice of life. It's definitely one that, it's not going to be the most popular show, but there's going to be some people who are like, yeah, this was definitely best anime of the year.
Yeah.
I'm looking at like all the friends who've finished it and like seeing all the like 8s and 9s, and I'm like, do you sniff your toenail clippers? That's all I'm thinking.
Who among us have not sniffed a toenail clipper?
I can safely say that I have not done that ever in my life.
Okay, me neither. Okay, good.
Pass the toenail clipper vibe check. Let's go.
just checking.
I will shout out.
Akebi also had a really good opening.
Ah.
I will shout out another show that was in winter. This anime, Sasaki to Miyano, which is, I'm not going to be an ambassador for it because it's just not quite my thing, but I feel like it's worth shouting out because it's a slow romance between two guys, and it's nice. Basically, it's like totally not my thing, the slow romance. It's basically a male equivalent of Bloom Into You.
Ah, gotcha.
Which,
I've seen it described that way as well.
Yeah. But it's nice. It's again, it's a slow relationship where two guys basically start off as friends with a sort of mutual interest, and they kind of get to know each other, and there's lots of this show is basically No Homo Bro, the anime, where both of them are constantly like feeling things about each other, but they're like, no, wait a minute. Yeah, so they have that whole
Unless...
wait. I'm not gay. That would be gay. That sort of thing. But I assume eventually they get to that point. I haven't finished it. I haven't finished anything so far. I'm sorry. I have a life outside of watching.
Yeah, get it. Yay. Congratulations.
But yeah, I really respect this show. It is doing a really good job of fleshing out a same-sex relationship, basically. I think people will, and anyone who is interested in that sort of thing should check it out.
How does it compare to what was the
Given?
Given, yes. Given was
Given. You know what? Given was better.
Like a good gay anime.
Yeah, Given was better. Because I think the emotional drama of that, although I'm just now remembering that Given had a really silly and ridiculous start that was kind of not good.
I remember from those seasonal episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, although
the seasonal impressions, we all hated Given, and then
we loved
the retrospective, we were like, Given was the most emotional show this season.
Yeah.
I feel
okay,
bad.
so I guess it doesn't have the low lows or the high highs of Given, basically. It is much more consistent. This show doesn't feel dramatic.
Okay, that's kind of cool. I appreciate our seasonal impressions for keeping us honest, because I know that I would be on some like revisionist shit being like, Given was always great. And then we have the seasonals where I'm like, these first 3 episodes suck. I don't like this.
You hated Given so much.
I bamboozled myself. Like, I switched up real quick from like...
What I hated about Given was that they were trying to tell us that he's the most amazing singer in the world, and all he does is say, la 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 la.
And then he actually had some words, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, actually.
And then, they give him some lyrics, and suddenly it slaps.
I remember distinctly, there's the concert scene where he actually sings the song, and it's amazing. It's like, it was was one of the best single episodes of anime of the year.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, yeah, this was a great scene because not only was the entire audience shocked he was actually good at singing, we were shocked he was actually good at singing.
I love it when they do that. It's like we're just like them.
By the way, it's actually really great that you compared it to Given, because after the TV show, Given had a movie. Sasamiya is also getting a movie.
I feel like that's the like pipeline of like, do the TV show. If they have enough fans, they'll go to the movie, and then we make money off it.
Yeah.
Another show from this year that went really under the radar because it was just like released on one batch on Netflix, I think.
JoJo Part 5.
Yeah, I was about to, JoJo
Part 6.
A little known show called.
That's what I thought you were going to reference, like Part 6.
I was going to ask if anybody else here watched The Orbital Children.
Oh, wait, I was going to watch that on TV because it was like only 6 episodes, and I've seen Denoi Coil, but I have not. But how is that?
What?
It was an interesting show. It's not as good as Denoi Coil.
Okay. I had a feeling.
But it because Denoi Coil is amazing. That's an excellent show.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. It's like an interesting look at like, it's kind of like transhumanism. It feels very much in the same vein as Denoi Coil in that it feels like it should have come out in like the early to mid 2000s when anime was all about that sort of like transhumanism sci-fi. There's a character, they all live on a space station, and there's a character in it named NASA Houston.
Gotcha.
And at one point,
Awesome.
it's revealed that's a fake name, and when everyone is shocked, she's like, "Dude, it's the most obvious fake name of all time."
Hello, my name. I am Nathaniel. Fake name.
Yeah. But that was a really good show. I don't want to get too into it because it's kind of like a twisty thriller kind of show, and I don't want to spoil anything. But for people who are into like sort of existential sci-fi, I
kind of me.
checking it out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. I will watch it. Because I've been looking for, I don't know. I want like more like Netflix shows I actually want, so I can watch them in bed. And I was like, this is peak, like, can watch this in bed. But then I realized like, oh, I fall asleep in bed, so I will miss the show. So
Fuck, that's where I sleep. God damn it.
Wait, I messed up.
Speaking also of things that were released on Netflix then, the first half of the second season of Tiger and Bunny came out after a million years.
Smurf told me I shouldn't watch it on Netflix because it takes out all the ads, and the ads are part of the point.
That is true, and an annoying thing that Netflix does. I don't think it's that huge a deal. Like, if you're looking for something to watch on Netflix, this is a good show you can watch on Netflix, even though it's not the ideal way to experience it.
Gotcha.
But I'm gonna continue shilling Tiger and Bunny. It's an incredible series, and the fact that like nobody in the West watches it, despite its incredible popularity in Japan, never ceases to confuse me.
Okay, I got you
have
covered.
It downloaded.
I'll do my part.
I have no idea when.
I
I think the second half of season 2 is coming out on Netflix in October, if I recall correctly. Which is annoying, but that's Netflix for you.
That's Netflix for you. I don't have anything else to add after saying Bubble was bad. So if you're going to watch Bubble, don't watch it and watch, I guess, the Orbital Children instead.
Well, I guess I guess that's all we have for good anime in 2022. Not that those are the only good ones, but I would say the best ones.
Yeah.
Once we felt like giving a shout out.
Yeah, I want to ask to kind of round off this discussion, what are things that you're looking forward to further into 2022, both within this season and next season?
The second half of Summertime Render.
Fair.
Summertime Render in the summer?
Yeah.
Yeah. The second half of Tiger and Bunny, second half of Spy X Family, second half of lots of things.
I've got
fourth half of Overlord. Hell yeah, let's go.
I'm saying this to buy myself time while I look at what else.
I'm excited for the vampire show.
Yes.
The vampire show is cool.
Vampire
Call of the
Dream
Night.
Girl?
I think Call of the Night.
Oh yeah, that's what it's called.
That one's pretty cool.
Manic Vampire Dream Girl show.
And probably, and they and that has a cool opening too. It has two of my favorite opening tropes. One being people dancing in the opening and ending.
Yes.
And two, when they are like watching them make the opening in real time, and then they continue doing the opening, which is cool.
Yeah.
Got that in My Senpai is Annoying, and seeing that again here, that was kind of cool. Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, man, that was another good OP. What? That show that wasn't this year.
Nope, that was last year. But you got me.
Fuck, it's already so old.
There are actually a bunch of sequels I'm really excited for in the rest of this year.
Oh, Golden Kamuy season 4.
Golden Kamuy season 4, Made in Abyss season 2.
I'm excited
for
Psycho.
I have to,
Mob
guys.
Psycho?
Can we cancel summer? I don't fucking want to watch anything in summer except Made in Abyss. Of course. But like, man, you should have seen me in my preview that I did on my side channel. I went fucking insane. This season, the summer season, is like every single franchise that I hate, all congregated.
It's my season.
Yeah, it's your season because you got a fucking big titty Shotokan maid show. Fuck
We get
you.
Overlord. We get Danmachi. We get all this shit I like.
Yeah.
Shout out to the 3 out of 10s on my list, and shout out to Panic 9 out of 10s. We got both this season.
Well, my 9 out of 10
is just this season is just so anti Mozilla Fennekin, but fall is that good shit.
Are we prepared for Mob Psycho season 3 to just be anime of the year, like without watching any of it? Like we're ready.
Well, there's also Pop Team Epic season 2, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's
anything
also
could happen.
there.
Pui Pui Moldcar season 2 or 2022.
No, Pui Pui Molcar is canceled because they did NFTs.
Yeah,
but do they still do them?
Pui cringe.
Do they still do NFTs?
I don't think anyone does NFTs. I think NFT does them at this point.
True.
Yeah.
I'm excited for, maybe I'll catch, okay, this is the only reason we can't cancel summer is because I need to take summer off to catch up to everything else I haven't seen during the year. And then not watch anything during summer.
Yeah, like there's so little. I'm like watching like 10 shows maybe. It's like all this other time to catch up on stuff I haven't seen.
Yeah,
Right.
This is going to be the catch up season for me as well. I mean, I already did start like basically everything that I talked about today. I watched within the last week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Yurusei Yatsura. I haven't seen the original, but I like. It looks kind of cool. I think it's just kind of cool they made that again.
I have seen some of the OG, but yeah, it really is interesting that they're bringing Urusei Yatsura back. It's a Rumiko Takahashi renaissance. It's coming. Yeah. We got Inuyasha season 2. Now Urusei Yatsura remake.
I'm excited for everyone to be like, wow, she's such a generic tsundere, and be like, cool, we've seen the Seinfeld effect in real time. That's going to be awesome.
That's going to be great.
Oh, God. Suddenly I'm not looking forward to this because I don't want to read anyone's stupid-ass opinions about it.
What's the Seinfeld effect?
The Seinfeld effect is where there are a lot of like tropes that have been popularized by Seinfeld that happen in like modern TV, but people haven't seen Seinfeld, so they'll watch like the like newer version of those tropes and then go back to Seinfeld and be like, oh yeah, that's not as funny because I've already seen it in this. And it's like, well, it started in Seinfeld. So
yeah, Seinfeld invented the sitcom.
Yeah,
it's basically what Konosuba did to all of isekai, where it's like, oh, I've seen this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also speaking of inventing things, My Hero Academia has another season.
Hell yeah.
No, I don't actually care. My Hero Academia is not good anymore, unfortunately.
No, apparently people don't watch it anymore. I mean, it still has a lot of members.
There are some things I'm looking forward to in summer. Like Yurei Deco, I watched the first episode of, and I'm going to love that show because it's a...
sounds like
it's a
dangerously
science
close
and
to
I'm
Umineko.
contractually obligated to.
Yeah.
Which one is that? Oh, Yuri Deco.
It's a science horror show.
That looks kind of cool. Oh, I'm not going to watch it, but it does look kind of cool. Thanks.
Yep. Yeah, mostly it's just the sequels that I'm really excited for this coming season.
There's an original series called Licorice Recoil that looks interesting, and so far I've heard it's good.
Oh wait, I feel like I've heard of that. Yeah, I feel like I've heard of that for some reason.
Yeah, it's
I liked it in your preview. You were watching, looking at the characters, like, oh, this looks kind of cute. So watching the trailer, like, what the fuck is this? And reading the second line in the synopsis, zombies. Oh, some zombies and giant monsters. At first, you're just like, oh, there's just cute girls in the city.
Is it bad that whenever I see Aniplex A1 pictures, I just think, cool, your Blu-rays will be $300? Like,
yeah, fuck it. Okay, here's a weird thing that's happened. So Solo Leveling is a manhwa that just got announced for getting an anime adaptation by A1 Pictures, and I'm like, why are people getting excited about a fucking Crunchyroll production manhwa adaptation? Like, did you guys not learn? But people were like adding me like, yo, but it's A1 though. And I'm like, wait, we're getting excited for A1 Pictures now.
So
what
funny.
Has the world come to?
This is revisionist history.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
but Solo Leveling is so popular. It's like I see people talk about that on non-anime servers. It's just like,
well, it's just one of those manhwas,
Manhwa.
Sounds like the kind of show that's going to be bad.
No. It's gonna be good in 6 seasons, bro. When the prologue ends in 3 years, it's gonna be awesome.
It's absolutely going to be one of those series where all of the people who read it are going to be talking about how good it is, and then it's going to come out and everyone will hate it, and then they'll be like, well, yeah, it was never really that good.
Well, it never really got to the deep lore, though. I mean...
Yeah, when are we getting
I'm thinking about like Tower of God.
Season?
Yeah.
It's been a while, guys.
God of High School. When are we getting all these?
Everybody was so excited about Tower of God until it came out, and then all the people, and then you like couldn't find a Tower of God fan anywhere. Everyone was like, well,
it was
never like that good of a series.
That's the same with Citrus. Everybody was like, oh, this is the best. This is so fucking good. Then it comes out, and everybody just very quiet all of a sudden.
Shout out to the people who are still Citrus fans after the anime came out and were like, nope, I'm staying strong. This is my series.
Why does Citrus add up now?
I think Citrus has some kind of ironic fandom now.
I think they're probably just horny, which is totally valid, but like, that's just probably like...
I would say not valid because those girls aren't even hot.
Okay, well, that is...
The show isn't even that horny. That's the crazy part. It's like, there's more horny shows. There's hornier shows to watch if you're horny.
Okay, sure.
It's kind of not a good horny show.
Panicking like, y'all are on some weak shit. Like, get good at your horny level.
Get on my level.
Yeah, I think so far 2022 has been it's been a decent year for anime, I think. There's been some real good stuff coming out, and it looks like there's going to be more in the future. Hopefully all these shows that we're excited for will live up to the hype. Hopefully these ones that are still ongoing will live up to the hype. But yeah, like I said, we'll probably do some kind of end of the year sort of podcast or whatever, talking about our favorite stuff of the year. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe and also comment. Tell us what you like in 2022 so far. What have been your favorite anime this season? Or have you not been watching anime? Have you just been doing other stuff? Tell us what it is. Tell us everything about you. Give us all of your personal information.
Give us your credit card number.
And
where you live.
On the back. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you very much for listening to the Tokyo Podfathers podcast, and I am Maz, and I've got Sha, Cinerus, Panic. Thank you guys for joining me in this discussion.
Thank you
for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Maz.
And we'll see you another time. Tooturu, motherfuckers.
Stay frosty.
You can't stay frosty. It's like 100 degrees outside.